Welcome back to Dum Dum's 2099, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into a futuristic world of Dungeons & Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukake, your host. Alyn, Honor System, and Declan have taken control of the Zeus Cannon's controls. Honor System used some of the powers his upgraded legs provide. Alyn discovered her magic is more potent but doesn't know why. And Declan led a massacre of the Zeus Cannon support crews. Can our heroes turn Bee-zos' weapon against the sentient swarm for good? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons 2099.
You've seized the control station that powers the Zeus Cannon. Finally, after having a giant space laser try and blow you up over and over and over, having narrowly escaped its wrath when it leveled Nairfrost, you're now in the control room that controls this powerful, powerful weapon. But of course, you do not yet have control of the weapon, only the room. You've killed an awful lot of people. And you have managed thus far to avoid setting off any alarms. That said, with your seizure of this room and without regular reporting and regular communications, people will be aware you're here pretty damn soon. But you've done a number of things over the past few sessions to ensure that you've bought yourselves some time at least. So, to refresh your memories, we are standing in the control room, suspended high up above the atrium of the Citadel. Before you, from the control room to your right, is the sort of small plateau that you just ran past. It's literally just a small kind of like almost corner, like it's just a little flat plateau between stations, essentially to allow you to turn right without having to turn right on a catwalk, which sucks. Beyond that is, on your right, is the maintenance center, which you previously entered. Beyond that maintenance center is the power charging station where all the batteries were that you have sealed shut. Directly ahead of you, so if we're looking straight ahead through the sort of central window of this command station, directly again on your right, you can see that the maintenance depot. Directly ahead of you is the generator. So this is a massive sphere that is full of large panels shooting electricity into a giant coiled sort of central battery that is remote charging. There's obviously there's power on the cannon itself, but this thing will kind of remote charge it when it is full. It is currently being charged because they've been firing it a bunch, more so than they should. To the left of the control station is another one of these little plateaus with a mirrored maintenance walkway, or catwalk rather, to the one that you just crossed. Beyond that, based on the diagrams that you have and the description you got, is the diagnostics center, which is what contacted the power charging station to threaten them with no bathroom breaks earlier. Beyond that is an office, sort of a central office space where meetings and the like can be held for people on this floor. You basically get the sense that this entire floor is mirrored. So there are kind of rooms similar to everything you've just been through on either side. They just serve different purposes. So the office room is parallel to the power charging station. Diagnostics is parallel to maintenance. And then there's the two plateaus and central control. So you've murdered everyone in this room quite handily. Don't worry, they were all bad people. You've taken control of control, lols. And now you're going to attempt to rig the Zeus Cannon to fire on command and obliterate the Citadel, and ideally drive its charge deep enough to hit the fulfillment center below and crack the moon, thus destroying all the backup samples of Bee-zos that are kind of buried.
Stupid bees
throughout the planet. So you've bought yourselves a free round of prep and action before anyone starts to show up and look for you. You know that it's going to take some time to properly hijack this thing and to rig it, particularly to rig it to fire on command is not a small task. During that time, you'll need to hold off however many drones are sent. Again, you've sent them, Moreau sent them on a wild goose chase, and you've managed to avoid detection to this point, so they're not descending on you en masse yet, but they will be soon. And of course, you need to power the generator such that the cannon can fire a full shot, which it hasn't had to do yet. It's been taking little half charges, and you need it to fire at full power. Otherwise, the moon won't blow up. And honestly, we didn't come to the moon to not blow it up, did we? So you have a free round to make preparations before anyone discovers you're here, and then things are going to get real fucking messy. So what I might recommend is let's roll initiative now. And that way you can tell me just for where this could all happen simultaneously. I don't really care what the order is, but just for ease of tracking as we move forward, it would be good to have everyone.
20 total.
Great.
11.
9.
Okay. All right, great. 2 more here. 1 sec. Okay, great.
Who are you rolling for, Tom?
I'm rolling for the drones that aren't here yet. I'm just going to be blatant about it. There's no hiding behind the screen. Just drones will arrive, and I am telling you right now that I'm rolling for them. Rolling for the Tarask that is just in one of the drawers. It's just a giant, unkillable monster that you'll need to fuck up.
Nice.
Okay, fantastic. So, top of the free round, again, you have this space. First up is Laura.
I mean, Alyn has really no technical.
You can also freely talk to each other.
Abilities
you
is going to be
discuss your strategy. As
Alyn would immediately look to Declan as the hacker.
All right, so I'm going to deal with the computer system. We've clearly got 2 side entrances where people could be coming from, and people could come through the vents behind us and, fuck their way through a door. So it's going to be which angles do you want to cover and how do you want to do it? There's diagnostics, which I guarantee we're going to figure out shit is fucked in a minute. That side, I don't know who's coming through, but it could be bad. And there's the way we came where we know we've got a little bit of a barrier, but they're still going to show up. Where do you want to position yourself? What spell do you want to have fucking ready to just blast them the moment they appear? I would suggest that, unless you've got something creative that'll keep this room safe and them out.
Well, we should just take care of diagnostics, shouldn't we?
There you go. You want to go kill everybody in diagnostics? That is a fucking plan.
Okay, so Alyn is going to go handle diagnostics.
Hell yeah.
And sorry, we don't really need to do this particular scene in initiative order. I may have slightly fucked us on that. I just wanted to make sure I had everyone's names listed. So the plan currently is Alyn's going to do that. Honor system and Declan, what are your plans?
Declan's got to do the hack. There's nobody else who can do it. So for him, it's the stages of intervention. Stage 1 is make sure that you have to be in this room to control the cannon or the generator. It's just lock everybody the fuck out.
Yep.
And then he can go to stage 2. But that is 100% step 1, which is guaranteed he can't get overridden elsewhere. And he does not want to end up in a hacker fight if he can avoid it.
Totally. I'll also say, just so you have this picture in your head, Ryan, because of the way this command center is set up, it has this giant bay window. And although you can't see into the individual rooms, you do have line of sight on these glass, and it's magic plastic glass that future stuff always uses. But you have line of sight on the catwalks. So if you wanted to try and shoot, you'd be at disadvantage because you're punching through a bunch of stuff. But you can't try and shoot anyone who is can't hit the rooms, but you can hit anyone moving between rooms.
Great, and I can also spot them to call it out if I see people moving
100%.
to enable my defenders. Cool. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing.
Okay, and honor system.
Honor system would want to. He's of 2 minds to either help Alyn or help Declan in terms of providing protection. I think he would go with Alyn to help her, and with the intention of returning back as soon as possible to provide protection to Declan.
Okay. Great. So Declan, you're going to commence the hack. Honor system and Alyn, you were going to go deal with diagnostics. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Excellent. So let's do that. So Alyn and Honor System, can you please give me stealth checks?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
A dirty 20 for me.
8.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
Those powerful legs.
Stamping around.
So you book it towards diagnostics, and sure enough, the power legs are clunking on the carpeting isn't so good on this particular catwalk. So when you arrive at diagnostics, the door opens and there's a shotgun blast that fills the space. So Alyn and Honor System, I need dexterity saves, please.
Sure.
Or sorry, reflex saves rather.
Reflex saves, yeah. 13.
12.
12. All right. Both of you are caught by the blast. Excuse me, 10 points of damage.
No.
As Kevin Flingflang just yells, "You want some? Come get it. You should have unionized."
Honor System is coming to get it.
All right. Honor System, go ahead and roll an attack, or your however many attacks you want to make. There's Kevin from Diagnostics is standing squarely, wide stance in the door frame with a shotgun.
4 attacks.
Okay.
Plus 10, so 13. 14, yikes. 13 again. 21.
21 will hit, the rest will not.
Okay.
Oof.
8, 9, plus another 7 for my brain.
16.
15. 16, thank you.
16 points. All right. You cut him in half. He's wearing some light armor, but he's not hardy. He works in diagnostics. So you cross cut him, and he kind of falls away. And Alyn, you stride past imperiously, and again, small. It's the same size as the diagnostics room, or sorry, the maintenance room on here on the other side. So a large rectangular room. You can see that there is a door similar to where the custodian's door was, and similarly a larger tunnel that leads to the offices, similar to where the power charging stations were. Everyone else is scrambling for weapons, but also you passed your stealth check. And again, I think Kevin was the alpha dog in here, so you're able to make pretty short work. Alyn, how do you decimate this room full of opponents?
It's just, I mean, the nice thing is I don't have to waste any really powerful magic. I can just keep letting all that beautiful stuff charge and just spraying with a steady stream of acid. It's kind of lovely. And I think it's great because Alyn starts at one side of the room, and as she sprays her acid kind of around in a semicircle, I think the shrieks of the people who are first hit make it even harder for the other people scrambling for their guns. They get more panicked. I imagine there's at the other side of the room, they managed to get guns up and they're firing hard rounds at you, but the rounds are being melted by the acid that's flying. These are not the top fighters in the building. Top fighters in the building wear jump packs and are currently making their way towards you at a lower initiative. So diagnostics falls rather easily, all things considered. But the fact that now there's been gunfire definitely changes the scene a bit. Declan, let's go for your hack. Can you please roll me a hacking check at advantage because you're using your magical hacker deck thing?
That is a 22. Nope,
22.
That's a lie. It's dirty 20. That's it.
Dirty 20. Okay. That's fine. You managed to get sort of breach the at least the initial software. You're able to hack in. It will not surprise you to know, several rounds in order to be able to sort of fully gain control of the cannon and be able to launch fire the cannon from here. That said, from here you do now have access to the the sort of non-openable generator doors. So you can control those from here. And with the materials you picked up during your searches in the power charging station and maintenance, you're also able to activate sort of one swarm of these small nanobots. So the way you can think of these things, they can't necessarily kill anything, but they can definitely harass and slow to a stop. If there's like a group of combatants approaching, you can basically funnel these things through a vent into one of those rooms and make it difficult for them to get past for a round.
Great.
And given all the factors at play, this is going to count as your first success on the ye olde hacking chart of hacking in order to gain full control of the Zeus Cannon. Okay. Top of the round. There is a crackle of electricity, Alyn, and honor system that you can see through sort of the portholes into the generator space. And there's a sort of a blinding golden blue light that appears on the small catwalk around the central generator. As a number of mages step out onto the platform. You can see they're all dressed in various outfits because, of course, the MFTs kind of wore what they're going to wear. But 5 mages step out into the platform. And you can see that, again, the bolts are still are missing the small catwalk through all sorts of magical enchantments and that sort of thing. The generator is still being charged, but you can definitely see intent they start like throwing up shield and like blocking lightning from coming through. And behind them, stepping out of this portal into the generator space, wearing an incredibly modern, well-cut suit, is Director Leondell herself, just armed to the gills with weapons, and barking orders to these MFTs, who basically begin to counteract the charging sequence. So that she rolled a nat 20 on her initiative, so she and the MFTs are in good shape. But immediately they start going about trying to disable things from inside. It is your turn. What do you do?
Whose turn?
Alan's got our
Alan.
highest initiative.
Alan,
yeah.
right?
My turn. Tom, so I understand, what's the general disposition of the MFTs? Are they like, do they seem to be like defensive in terms of like they are trying to protect themselves, or like they're like pissed? And I'm just like, are these like mages that can be saved, or do they seem to be on her side?
They are mages who took an incredibly lucrative contract to work for
Yeah.
Amazoon and have
Gotcha.
been charging up a cannon that's been blowing things up and are now
Yeah. Okay.
like this. You get the sense from also the fact that Director Leondell is here that these aren't just run of the mill folks. These are like true believer, proper employees.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
you get the sense that now that there's a fear that the cannon might be compromised, they are actively trying to depower it. Because to Declan's earlier point, it's fine if you gain control of the cannon. If there isn't enough quantum energy to power it, then you can't make the shot.
Oh dear. So this is like,
I will also say, Declan and Honor System, you've seen this happen as well. Declan, obviously, from a slightly different perspective, but Honor System, you're in there too. The alarms are also shifting from that low tone to like large, scary Claxton levels.
there's kind of a moment like, you know, Alyn had been thinking earlier, like, this woman, like, there was this thought that like maybe she is her mother, and there was like a weird switch like, who knows, but like she's like, I think she's come around to the idea that like this, even if this is her mother, this is a shit thing that she's doing. It's like, This woman is like, this is not like, no, this is just from what she's done. Whoever she is, she needs to be stopped. So, I think Alyn starts, kind of has just a second of like, I need to stop seeing like my mother and think of this as someone I'm up against who's wearing the mask of my mother.
Mm.
And she fires at a chain lightning.
Do you need? You're not in the same room as them. Can you shoot through walls and such with this?
Oh, I'm not. I thought
No,
I could
they're-
see them.
This is all like the transparent wall, like
Yeah, you're
glass.
looking
Oh,
through
fuck,
diagnostics.
okay.
So diagnostics connects to control, to the offices, but also the generator. So similar to maintenance, where there was that big door you couldn't open, there's a big door you can't open here that Ryan can control from his side.
I mean, if Declan could see them, Tom, I got a pitch here for you. I have cunning action, which I can use as a bonus action, which can be used to dash, disengage, or hide. Could I use it to disengage the door to the generator that is
Yeah,
open
I'd
to
buy that.
diagnostics?
Yep,
Love
totally.
it. And bam, there's my cunning action from.
Okay.
So now you can throw chain lightning if you want.
Now I can, yes. So with the door down, thank you, Declan. Let's just try to end it because this has taken way longer than Alyn wanted this to. Like, this is like, for her, this was like a side project. Like, Bourbon Sherbert came in and like, Alyn was doing like other important work. Like, can we just get this the fuck done? Like, I think like after Dr. Moreau going on and on, love you, Tom, but Dr. Moreau going just like fucking like, yeah, there was important information. I get it, but like fucking like faster. Yeah, she's done. So just lightning her, this woman, not her mother, this woman.
All right. So what do I need to roll on my end here, Laura?
Dexterity saving throw. There's also going to be 3 bolts of lightning that leap off from her to so 3 of the other mages.
Okay.
Everyone who's ever thought this could have been an email is now living through Alyn as she's like, so much time was wasted. I was busy.
Yeah.
I was doing portals.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to start rolling. So that's 6, 13, 16, 19, 21, 22, 29, 30, 38, 44 lightning damage for anyone who failed, and 22 for anyone who passed.
Yep. So 2 of the mages failed, 1 of them passed, and Director Leondale passed. So let's see what happens here. Check on their health. Sec. Just click back and forth between. Don't talk to me, Adobe. I don't need you right now. That's not what we're doing. Not about that right this
He
moment.
shows up. It looks like you're trying to run a game of D&D.
All right. They're all still up. 2 of those mages look real crispy, though. And there's just like an immediate like shift as you throw lightning through the gateway. It hits Leondale. She's kind of racked by lightning, but seems to kind of sort of almost drop into that like Iron Man drop pose. As she hits the ground, you can see cybernetics activate kind of across her body that kind of blast out an energy shield around her. She's still like hit, obviously, and takes damage, but it seems to prevent the majority of the damage to her. Two of the mages go take a massive amount of damage. One of them is still obviously very hurt, but not as badly. But they turn their attention to you.
How far away from me are they, Tom?
I'm going to say about 80 feet. No, I'm sorry, that's far too far. About 50 feet. It's a big chamber. Like, again, it's kind of a cerebro thing. So it's a massive round chamber once you're inside. There's a series of catwalks inside, but they're not close.
Alyn is going to use her bonus action of Misty Step to go back, like get back into kind of that, like the central like hall catwalk, and her movement to kind of get out of line of sight of them for their retaliation.
All right. So you want to get back to? Do you want to go all the way back to Ryan or halfway back to Ryan?
Halfway back.
Okay. So you're at the plateau between control and diagnostics.
Yeah. Cool.
Great. Okay. Declan, you see all this occur. You see Alyn throw lightning inside. It strikes a bunch of mages. As soon as she disappears, they kind of turn back to fucking with the generator, and you can see that the generator there's still enough latent energy from all the different MFTs that are charging it elsewhere that the charge level hasn't dropped yet. They're clearly having an effect on it. That said, with all the alarms going off, you now become aware of the incoming drones. So they won't be here. They're not here now. They'll be here next round. But you've got incoming soldiers sort of swarming your location next round. What do you do?
Alrighty. Yeah, so for pure flavor, Declan is in that mid-90s movie hacking focus where it's all around him. Over his shoulder, there's just a screaming tech covered in acid who runs out of diagnostics, and he just raises his gun without looking and shoots them. And then, without even thinking, opens the door to the generator, and he's still just hacking away. I'm imagining hacking takes his full focus. Yes, Tom?
So here's the deal. I'll let you take shots as necessary. You can't shoot into the generator room without opening the central door, which will expose you as well. You can shoot people on catwalks, but it'll put hacking and shooting at disadvantage. So if you're just doing one or the other, you can just roll it as normal. If you're trying to do both, I'll let you do both, but you'll be worse at both because you're trying to snipe and
that makes sense. This turn, opening the door makes him bad at everything, and right now they need to gain some footholds on the hacking, so he's still going to be fully focused on hacking. He's got Alyn within sight to theoretically help cover him over this, so he is just going to hack away.
Okay.
Do I have advantage again for this?
I mean, your hacker device gives you advantage, I believe.
Great. It's the one that I built at the bar, you know?
Yep.
It's quality work. That is a 30.
30, yep. That'll do. That moves you one more along the chart. Great. So yeah, it's you've got one of those classic status bars of like as it tries to, so when you try and connect to Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi is slightly slow, where it's like, a line from the Zeus Cannon to control, and then like a line from control to your hacking console. And currently it's just kind of stuck at control and the line is filling. But you're finding your way in. And again, so far, so not terrible. It will be terrible soon, but so far you're doing okay. Honor system. There are a bunch of mages in that room. They're a little distance away. There is the director, the generator, and Alyn has just retreated to your right, heading south onto the catwalk.
Yeah, seeing Alyn retreat back to where Declan is and seeing that the mages, after being attacked, return to their task, honor system makes a decision and gets on the subdermal comms and says, I'm going to disrupt the MFTs attempting to dampen the charging sequence. Alyn, please stay in the command room and protect Declan as best you can.
Okay, yep.
And I will run towards the generator.
Okay. Are you looking to close distance on Like just to get in there, or are you trying to like get to the closest possible mage? What's
There's a doorway right from the it's diagnostics room, doorway, catwalk, doorway, generator, right?
Diagnostics, there's a straight catwalk to generator. So basically diagnostics, hallway, and then the generator room. Within the generator room, there is a the I want to say circumference, but I think that's the wrong term. It's basically the inside of this chamber is lined with a catwalk. And then there's this central generator floating sort of dead center that has a catwalk around it. So there are two on the north and south ends. There's a connector bridge, but basically if you want to try and get to where the mages are right now, you could try and leap across. It's dangerous, but it's possible. Otherwise, you can run in and you'll have to kind of run along the edge to get into the center to fight these assholes.
Then I guess I'm just running.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your robot legs kick up sparks as you begin like a Platinum Games Revengeance run, just kind of barreling forward into the generator room space, lightning blasting off the walls around you and striking the generator.
Can I see any to shoot? There were two that were particularly injured. I have an SMG in my arm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
my muscle fibers are now like
no. All your mechanics are still in place. You'll just have like little Wolverine slots.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to blast away, you can absolutely blast away.
Okay. Depending on their location, if I can try and hit two, I have an SMG spray ability that I can hit multiple enemies in a cone. Yeah,
one round. On their next initiative, they will be too spread out for this because they know there's someone with fireballs nearby. But having just stepped through a portal and unfortunately, like stepping into the room and trying to do their task means they weren't able to like. They could go get tactically set up, but then the charging would continue. So, you can hit two this round. So if you want to aim for the two injured ones, I think it would make sense that they're close enough to each other, given that they got hit by a chain lightning. So I buy that.
Okay, then they need a DC 17. I think it's a dex save or reflex save, I guess.
One succeeds and one fails.
I rolled too many. Sorry, I'm just going to re-roll that. I rolled 44. I should be rolling 2, so I'm just going to re-roll 2. 3 plus 5, 8 damage.
8 damage? All right. Okay.
It's 8 to 1 and 4 to the other.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, so your bolts kind of spray against them. They are one of them throws up shield, one of them just gets hit, but is hardy. They're again dressed like weird carnival characters because that's kind of how the MFTs roll. The more magey you can look, generally speaking, the more you can sell your contract for. So it's a little bit like you're punching people at the Ren Fair, but the bullets work. Punch through a couple of them, and that brings us to the top of the round, where things get a little bit more hairy for our friend Honor System. So Director Leondell and the MFTs are up first. She yells like, "Keep your attention on the generator. We can't allow them to gain control." And then she just kind of draws a hand cannon, draws down on you, Honor System. And you can see kind of her eyes flash red as her sort of optics kick in, and she just does those little micro adjustments that RoboCop does in order to track your movements. And she is going to fire with her heavy pistol. What's your AC?
19.
19. Okay, so she gets 3 shots. Damn. All right, she's going to hit with 1, but she also rolled a 1, so her gun is going to jam after damage she does off of that. So here's where things get kind of gross. She has, what does she deal here? All right, so we've got. Well, I rolled low, so you're kind of in luck. So that's 5 ballistic damage, plus 13 poison damage, which I'm going to cut in half for you, but you do have organics on you. So it will
7 or
We'll-
6.
We'll take it at 7.
Okay.
So as the rounds kind of impact you, splash sort of poison across your body, you can see kind of like black veins in your hands and kind of in some of the musculature, which feels odd but not necessarily super painful. And because of her stats, she gets to deal additional damage when she hits with a weapon, and the other character has not acted yet. So
Is that each round or just at the start of battle?
this is off the top of battle. No, sorry. She gets it on a turn. Like, she will basically, she's at the top of the round, so she's actually going to be able to fuck any of you with this for the rest of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I
It's-
thought those rules were just at the start of the battle, but it makes sense that it keeps recurring because it's nasty ambush.
For super evil villains, they get additional shit.
So spooky. So
So
spooky,
spooky.
these fuckers.
All right, so that is an additional 14 off of that.
Okay.
But the pistol, as she fires that, like, I think her optics are going, her cybernetics are kicking in. Unfortunately, that makes her like a handy magnet. So the a lightning blast hits the gun and knocks it from her hand, and it just kind of flies off down into the hits the side of the chamber and kind of skitters down. Good news is she only gets that ability on that gun, so you're in luck. She mutters an exotic curse word from an ancient tome that Alyn, you hear echo sort of throughout the chamber, and it's the same thing your mom used to mutter under her breath back in the day, and it's just, again, one of those like little eye twitch, like frustrating life mirroring itself moments. But the good news is that pistol is gone with its magic poison bullets and its ability to get hard damage. So bad news.
Yeah,
but
my
also
mother
good news.
didn't have cybernetics.
This is true. This is not Mrs. Mudbutt. Okay, so that was her round. The MFTs are continuing their work on the on draining the charge. The charge on the cannon drops by 1. They have a thing they're tracking too. Great. That brings us to Alyn. Alyn, you're at the catwalk between control and diagnostics.
Yep.
There's not your direct routes right now are back into diagnostics or into control. You are not connected to the generator from here.
Correct. I'm protecting Declan. So Alyn's got like her hands up in front of her, kind of like Starlight from The Boys, just like back and forth, just like looking around her, being like, I'm so ready to just acid anyone. Like she's as much as she kind of wants to deal with this pseudo weird not mother, like she has to protect Declan. This is their mission.
Gotcha. Declan, we moved to your initiative. Through the comms, you can hear drones beginning to descend. It would seem that they are the closest teams are going to breach the office and the power charging station this turn.
Okay, the office is 2 rooms away from us currently and is locked off from the generator. And the power charging room, we fucked with the door, so that should slow them down.
Yeah, so office and power charging mirror each other. So it would go, their attack route on you currently would be going through the office to diagnostics to control. The other team is coming through power charging to maintenance to control. So you basically have 2, right now they're absolutely mirrored in terms of their approach. You welded shut and hacked the door on power charging, so it'll take them, that will slow that team down.
Yep. We'll just let them keep moving. He's got to get through this hack. System will tell him if system needs help. So he's also not looking in the generator. He's fucking in the desk doing the work he needs to do.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your hack, please.
Yeah, let's do it. 19.
19. Yep, that'll do. All right, that status bar is filling, baby. you're starting to, like, your own device is starting to mirror it and is picking up on kind of the tracking systems. It's running calibrations. You're getting all sorts of fun shit. That brings us to Drone B, B Squad. They come in through the emergency chute into the power charging station, only to find that the door is jammed. What a pain in the ass. There's a bunch of dead people, and the door is jammed. So there's like, they're pounding on it. It's the classic stormtrooper, like, open the blast doors! Open the blast doors!
Yeah.
And one of their power welders gets to work on it, but it's going to slow them down for this round. Honor system. You are, having taken damage from the director, you are sprinting around the edge of the generator to get into the center ring to fight the mages. What do you do?
I carry on with that.
Okay.
I do not change my trajectory because I'm being shot at or anything like that. I have to stop them. So,
all right. You going for the MFTs or the director?
The MFTs, the ones that are doing the actual dampening of the charge. Yeah.
So with your speed, you'll be able to close distance with two of them. I'm going to say it's the one who got partially injured by Alyn, and the one who got partially injured by your SMG round.
Okay. 4 sword swings. 13, 17. What is that? 19. Please roll higher than a 10 on the die. Another 19. And 24.
Okay. Against the MFTs, those will all go through.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
They're wearing ropes. They are squishy mages in any timeline.
So 4 hits. Okay. 5 and 5, 10 plus 7 for 17 on the first. 13 plus 7 for 20.
Okay, so that drops one of them. Now we're on to the more injured of the two.
Okay. Oh, amazing. Thank you. 6 and 7 is 13. Plus 7.
20.
So 20.
Thank you. And this last one, 7 and 3, which is 10 plus 7, 17.
Okay, tell me how you cut these mages up.
Just 2 just well placed, well practiced cuts. I think if they're if there's any sort of like somatic component to how they're doing this magic, that's the first thing that honor system disables. So if their hands are out or anything like that,
there's hands aplenty.
Then the hands come off first, and then it's a killing stroke to put them down for good, and he moves on to the next one.
Okay, awesome. So it's just raining hands in this small space, like a Jedi's on the loose. Great. So you cut down 2 of them, and immediately, like, more lightning starts to strike the center of the center basin. The director is yelling into a comm link for backup, but you have slowed their progress considerably because now there are less of them. Bringing us to Drone A. So they come rushing through the office through their vent chute. Encountering no resistance, they make it to diagnostics, where they so it's a team of 4. Again, 2 robots, 2 organics, wearing the yellow and black jumpsuits of Amazon, guns up, kind of doing a clearing. Tactically, they're doing this sort of SWAT run in. They obviously see the carnage and the acid burns in the room. Let's see. Here's an interesting challenge. Let's see if they notice. They do not notice honor system in the central chamber. They are going to continue forward to control on their next turn. So they're now in diagnostics.
Does
right.
Alyn have line of sight on them to blast them down the hallway with her held action?
Yes, actually you do, because you're at the junction point. So you can go ahead with your held action, Laura.
Yeah, I'll throw. How many of them are there?
4.
Well, then I guess I'll just have to throw acid arrows at the first 2.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I mean, not good, but
Yeah.
it sounds.
Okay, so the first one will be a 23 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
And the second one will be a 19 to hit.
19 will also hit. Yep.
Okay. So first buddy will get, that's good rolling. 10 plus 2 is 12, plus I get another d6 on my first hit. So 15 acid
Okay.
damage to first buddy. And then second one, not as great, 7.
Okay. So at the start, that was 13 to the first one?
15.
15. Okay. And 7 to the second, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome. So yeah, acid flies down the hall, smacks both of them. The great thing is your initiative is up soon again. So
Hell yeah.
you can just keep making them sad.
Yep.
Alyn, once again, when you throw your acid arrows, it's almost like if you're pushing a cart that gets away from you a little bit. You almost stumble forward. It's so fucking easy to throw this acid. And it splashes against the armor. Same sort of reaction you've seen previously. They make a bunch of grand SWAT gestures towards you and are going to continue their push. Bring us to the top of the round. The director observes as honor system cuts down 2 of the mages, and she immediately grabs one of them and kind of like yells at her and points. So instead of preventing the charge this round, that mage opens a portal. And you can see, I guess, honor system, you're engaged in combat, so you probably wouldn't see this, but a portal is now, think like a Doctor Strange style portal is open. And then she turns her attention back to you, honor system. She doesn't have her pistol anymore because it got lightning blasted out of her hands. You've just dropped 2 guys. She is going to kind of reach over her shoulder and sling a rifle around and try and sight you for a shot. So she gets 1 attack. What's your AC again, sir?
19.
Okay, with a 20, I will hit. And that is slightly bigger dice than the previous one. So that is 17 ballistic and 2 poison. You do have damage reduction, I believe, from your armor, so please do keep that in mind.
I don't have any
Oh,
armor.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. But she doesn't get her extra damage because she's not using her pistol, and she doesn't have advantage on you, so she doesn't get her other possible thing. So not great, not bad. So she fires a shot through your, blows a chunk of flesh and metal off your shoulder, and just continues to kind of sight, trying to sight you through the melee as lightning continues to split. Brian, how are you looking, honor system?
This is bad. I'm getting some chunks blown off of me. Yeah.
Chunks blown off. Yeah. Okay. Great. So the other MFT trying to delay the charge fails. So the charge tracker actually goes back up. So the charge is back to where it was at the very beginning because they are no longer successfully holding it back. So it's good for you and bad for them is the short version of that. Bringing us to Alyn. You've got 4 drones descending on you from diagnostics. You just threw acid at them. That said, there was a clear shot that rang out even through the walls of the generator, and you can see honor system, kind of take a hit in the shoulder from the creature wearing a mask of your mother as it continues. I think you can also see the portal inside. At which point, your subdermal vocalization piece kicks in with a different voice than you're used to hearing, and Moreau says, "So, Alyn, has it kicked in yet?"
What?
Well, look, I thought you might be a little reluctant to actually take the ambrosia nectar, so I microdosed your Dunkachino. Yeah, I know. Ain't I a stinker? In any case, they're breaching the door, so I only got a minute or 2 left here. But look, I didn't have very much here, and what I did was very old and very powdered, so it won't last for long, and it won't give you much. But I hope you at least get a little bit of a hint what it could be like to wield this power. After all, I have birthed and then his voice gets cut off in a hail of gunfire. And Alyn, you can feel your sort of magical energies coursing through you. And with 4 drones descending on you, honor system on the verge of death inside the generator, at the hands of some cruel mockery of your mother, you gain access to your full spell list.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons 2099 features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra. The system we're playing is Carbon 2185, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are Core Collapse and Sanctuary of the Sky Gods by Nathaniel Yaverne, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, Jahzzar, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Now I'm off to do future things before we return for the next episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons 2099. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. The Half-Blind Prophet, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Sammy Boy, Orion Birchfield, Scott Garland, Benjamin V, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Acrix, Grandma Likes D&D, Alyn, Austin Nut Powers Fry, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Roman Brown, Shulzari, Christian Mendez, Spot Allen, Flynn 1138, Alarain Okapi, OMG It's Big Nick, Steve Wees, D&D and Things, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.